How y'all feeling? Y'all not feeling good?
Come on, New Orleans.
Okay. Look, we are in the United States of America right now, and we are in a black women's space, so I think we need to feel a little more enthusiastic about being here and being amongst each other.
That's all the black joy we got going on here.
Right. Look.
Come on, show us some black joy. We are in essence. All right now.
I know it's hard to feel joy right now, but we have to protect our spaces and be in a space of affirming each other right now. So I'm Nicole Hannah-Jones. I am the nonfiction authors curator for Essence Festival this year. And thank you.
Yes. I'm a cheerleader up here. Can you tell?
When I got the opportunity to curate sessions, the first thing, of course, I thought about was the state of black women in this country. It's never been easy to be a black woman. Since 1619, black women have had a unique struggle, but we are now in a very particular moment where not only is Black America under attack, but black women specifically. We know that some over 300,000 black women have lost their jobs under this current administration. We know that many of the fields that we as black women care most about in our careers have been the fields that have been targeted by the Trump administration. And then we have, just the everyday lives of us trying to be mothers and partners and bosses and just everything that we're trying to do. And so I curated this panel because there was no one I would rather hear from in this moment than these two, and then, of course, our sister Tiffany Cross when she comes women. So I'm going to start with you, Michelle, because you were one of the early kind of canaries in the coal mine of this new administration. We all know Michelle from her amazing work on CBS, telling so many of our stories in such a powerful way, and always featuring black women and other marginalized people in your storytelling. And when CBS was bought out, you were one of the first people that they let go.
Well, I was among 100.
I understand, but we don't care about them other people.
Okay,
no,
well,
I'm playing.
But no, so not only was I, but they targeted my show. So my show for financial reasons, they fired all but 3 or 4 people or laid off people from the staff, and all of this is documented. Essentially, our show that was so good at crafting stories about America and the world the way it actually looks and feels, that was CBS Saturday Morning. And I guess that was no longer what they wanted to see happen. For me, the writing was on the wall, and still, and I think this happens to a lot of us, still, I was a little shocked because the show was doing well and we had a following and all the things, we were under budget and we made a difference and people knew who we were. We were sometimes beating the Monday through Friday show. So I say that in the respect that it did not feel right, but I left there with dignity. And that's the first thing we have to show, because that is what we have and that is what we do. And I also left with my posse in full view. Okay, I strutted out of that building like a badass. And I then put it up on social media and let everybody know that I wasn't going out quietly. But I don't know if the question was, yes, I was one of the first.
Well, you didn't let me ask the question.
Oh, I didn't? Sorry, I'm used to asking the questions. She really likes me because I taught her how to pose on the first time I interviewed her.
That's true. She did teach me how to pose. But I think what I wanted to get at, and you did start to touch on it, was we know as black women that we're often blamed for our economic conditions, right? That we just need to be educated. You need to work harder. We've been told by this administration that we are DEI hires, that we didn't earn our positions. And yet, Tiffany's show had consistently high ratings. Joyanne Reed's show had consistently high ratings. Your show had consistently high ratings. And so we know the cancellation was never about your professionalism and your success. And so many of us, I don't care what type of job you have, we understand what it's like to do everything right, everything they tell us that we're supposed to do, but in the end, we're still expendable. So I just wanted you to speak a little bit about that experience as a black woman in this country right now. At least they used to try to hide and pretend. The pretending is over, which is good. We know our enemy is making the stakes very clear, but it's very hurtful to have, in such a public way, when you know you've done your job well, to be dismissed in that way. And I would just love you to speak to that a little bit, and then I'll get to you, Jamila.
So I always knew that the day would come, but I had always planned, because I was one of these people who made sure that I was in all of the things, like all of the platforms. Like, I started their streaming service. I was one of the 12 people to watch in 2012, along with the then president and CEO of CBS News, the then president of their division on tech, John Oliver, and the guy from Meet the Press at the time. What was his name? Well, anyway, there were only 12 of us, and there were like 3 women, and my face popped up in that. So obviously, I meant something. Emmy Award, 3-time Emmy Award winner, 2-time Gracie Award winner, Edward R. Murrow Award winner, New York Times bestselling author. I mean, all of these things have Q associated with them. When I say that, they measure the quotient of your popularity and your ability to engage audiences. So that's what they say they want. But I've always known that, we are constantly being gaslit. So I want to turn it over to you, because the transparency now, I think, for everyone is alive and well.
Michelle.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm playing. Look, we can have discussion. We're sisters up here. We can have discussion.
I don't want to hog the mic.
No, it's okay. She want to interview because you're a journalist. That's what you do. But we're all journalists up here, actually. I want to come to you, Jamila, because your new book writes about what is the avatar, right, of conservatism in this country, is that single black women, right, are the cause of all of the problems of our culture and our society. And you wrote a book to try to reclaim this position. I would love you to talk a little bit, or as much as you want, right, about why you wrote this book, why we need the presence, the more public presence of single black womanhood in spaces like this, where we know there are a lot of black women who are having that exact same experience, and why that particular identity feels so under attack right now.
Thank you. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you. My book, Black Single Mother, out now, available in the bookstore, is the result of a lot of years of inner work for myself as the child of a single mother, and now a second-generation single mother, right? I've been a writer for a long time. I've had publishing companies interested in getting a book for me for a long time, and I couldn't figure out what I wanted to write about, right? My work has been around feminism and pop culture and parenting and family to some extent, but I was afraid that if I wrote a book about black single motherhood, one, I would have to deal with all that comes with it, right? And the stigma and the shaming and the assumptions, which I certainly have. And it's been such a fight to get this book into spaces that you would be so sad to hear are not embracing this book, right? Because it's about black single motherhood. Spaces that are led by black single mothers are afraid of talking about black single motherhood. So I didn't want to deal with the shame. I didn't want to deal with the stigma, but I also was afraid that if I put this down in a book in this way, because it's one thing I've talked about it on social media, I've written about it in articles, talked about it on podcasts, but if I wrote a whole book about it, I felt like I was going to make myself a single mother forever. That somehow I was writing a spell for my life, and that's who I would always be. And in the process of writing the book, I realized, one, that's ridiculous, but two, what if I am a single mother forever? That's not doom. That's not failure. I have a beautiful, wonderful family, and we are enough. Whether it expands to include a partner for me in the household or another child or nothing at all. I've built a beautiful family with my daughter, as well as with her dad and stepmom and brother and her extended family, right? We've navigated co-parenting in such a beautiful way, and I wanted to share that with people. So with that, I think that we have to be honest about the fact that Black single motherhood is nothing to be embarrassed of. It has been an integral part of our story since we got here. Our enslaved ancestors very rarely had the option to decide who their partner would be. Who would they do life with, right? That's not something enslaved women were doing. And many of them, whether they'd born children or not, were single mothers. They were mothering children that were on the plantation. Someone has to look after this baby. He don't got no mama, right? And so this is something that we should be proud of. I went into this book wanting to restore dignity or bestow dignity upon Black single mothers and give us our flowers and tell people that we deserve more than what we've gotten. But I have been so radicalized since publishing the book and being on tour and going across the country and talking to people about it. So it's like, I went from, I want to defend Black single mothers to actually, I think Black single mothers are superior beings. I think we are the most essential members of the community, and that Black America will fall apart without us.
All right, thank you. And we'll welcome Tiffany Cross to the stage.
So sorry, I'm so tardy. Hi, everybody.
I said you were on CP time.
I was on Joy's stage. She was over there talking about you. So I was doing Joy's show. She said, please apologize to Nicole for me.
That's okay. I started this on European time, so we forgive you. We forgive you. We're just being anti-colonial right now. It's all good. But welcome.
Thank you.
I actually named the title of this session after your book, Love Me, right? And I was telling Michelle that in some ways she was a canary in the coal mine, but you were whatever comes before the canary, right? So, of course, your show, which, again, was a very popular show that that provided the audience with something that you couldn't find elsewhere on television news, was canceled really at the height of its popularity. And we can't blame this on the second Trump administration. Yeah. And so in some ways, you were the precursor of showing how already tired people who were allegedly our allies were of centering Black stories and Black narratives. So I would love for you to talk a little bit about kind of the impetus for the book, and what's the message that we as Black women, as we get ready to commemorate the 250th anniversary of the country that was founded by enslaving our ancestors, how we should be thinking about this moment.
Well, thank you, Nicole, for pulling together this panel. Thank you all for coming. I'm honored to share the stage with you, Michelle. You look gorgeous. I saw you earlier. And, I love your book. So I had the opportunity to hear about her book because we share an agent who asked me to blurb it. So congratulations to you on your book. I feel in good company to be here. And, thank you, Nicole, for the question. It's really, I think in this moment in time, we are righteously pissed off. But even beyond being pissed off, I know for me, I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken, and it seems like every time we talk about Black women, we're talked about in these monikers. We're the backbone of America, or the backbone of this political party, or we're the 92%. And I know for a long time, but especially after the election, I didn't feel like any of those things. I felt like I'm a whole ass human being with a broken heart right now. And I want to take a step back from the group project of trying to save something, people who don't want to be saved. And at this point, I don't know how to co-create something with people who do not see my humanity. And so when I showed up every day on my set, I did so with you in mind. I imagined a world in which we could have truthful conversations the same way they have little colloquialisms they drop on their show. I wanted to have that on my show. The same way, this is how I speak. I'm not code switching. Like, we should be able to reflect our own lived experience the same way they do. And in a space that constantly centers whiteness, centers white comfort, centers white perspective. And when you look at the landscape, even before this administration, only 6% of reporting newsroom staffs were black. When you disaggregate that, that means even less are black women, even less are black men. I'll take a moment of privilege and shout out Jelani Cobb, Dean of Columbia Journalism School. An amazing figure, an important figure in journalism today. Thank you, Jelani, for all the important work.
He'll be on a panel later this afternoon.
Oh, good. I'll come back and see you then. But I had to take to the page to reflect our story. And there's a lot of brilliant minds, like the women I'm on stage with, who do wonderful reporting and deep dives into history. I wanted to take a moment to explore love, because love is really at the root of our survival. I don't know y'all in this room, but I know every one of y'all. I can show up to anybody's house in here on Thanksgiving. I know what the menu gonna look like. I know the questions to ask, like who made the potato salad, who we rocking with. That's community, that's love. And what you were talking about, being responsible. I don't have children, but I've mothered children. And when you say, if a baby walked in here right now, that baby is the safest baby right now. Like, whose baby is this? He's gonna be loved, he's gonna be cared for. There's something magical about that. And so I wanted to write something that reminded us of who we are. Because as angry as I am, particularly, I live in DC and I'm surrounded by these ignorant ass, ill-fitted ass people who walk around my neighborhood with the temerity to be wearing this new Klan uniform at the nation's capital, where hundreds of thousands of black women have been sent to the breadlines. And I walk around there like, I dare you to say one thing to me. And I think we all need to have that attitude again, because that is our community. They need to understand you didn't mess with her, you messed with us every single time. And that's the energy I'm on, and I wanted to center that righteous anger, but rooted in love of what we're going through. And I don't know, Nicole, honestly, with this 250, I don't know how to co-create what's next. I really don't. I don't have an interest in it even. But I think we have to start to consider, how do we build shelter for ourselves? I don't care so much about the bones of this democracy, but I care about you, I care about you, I care about you, I care about your children. And if we are the hope and dream of the enslaved, if somebody had to pray to envision us right here, right now, what are we sowing into the seed and the culture right now that generations from now they can say, this is what we did. This is how we stood in a moment of time in our humanity. So it's rooted in love. I told Nicole this, but the first month of publication, my book sold over 10,000 copies across all platforms. It's such a huge feat. So thank you to everybody who's bought the book and DM me. I'm thirsty, so I look at my DMs and look at what y'all say about it. And so I really appreciate all the support, and honored to share the stage with you luminaries up here today.
Right, thank you so much. We talk a lot about this, right? The burden that black women carry. I came out of last election extremely angered, enraged, despondent, and sick and tired of every 4 years black women are told we have to save democracy, and then as soon as we do it, we get dropped like a bad habit, right? We know the pattern. And yet I remember after this election when so many of us felt betrayed by the choices of other women who are not black, who voted for this. And
men too.
And men, but...
And people in our community who voted by not voting.
And lots, right? Like many of us were betrayed, who put so much into trying to save the country, not for a particular love of country, but for a love of our own community. We understand if this shit burns, we all burn. Like, we know that. So y'all remember the meme that came out and the black women were sitting on the building, drinking wine, watching everything burn down, and it felt cathartic. And we needed a moment of catharsis. But we also knew we weren't going to do that for long. Yeah. We don't have the ability to do that for long because whatever America plans to visit on the people it says it cares about, we know we're going to suffer the most. So I would want all of you to answer this question, just to talk about kind of what is the state of black women right now and what are we called to do? Because I don't believe we should any longer be the sacrificial lamb, but at the same time, our communities are the first that are going to be sacrificed. So what is the state? And we can just start at the end and come this way.
Again, I'd say that right now the responsibility of black women, I had this conversation with Michael Harriot, and he was saying black men tend to tell their children and people what to do, but black women show people how to be. And I think that's important right now. I know there's a lot of anger, but I do want to call us to remember our humanity and remember who the true enemy is. So I even hear you about people who didn't vote in our community. I have a lot of grace and empathy for those people because you're asking me to believe in a system that has consistently harmed me, and I have not seen any evidence. And I don't believe in elitism or classism that's all rooted in white supremacy. So I understand the person that is on the corner of my street. Hi, Nikki. I understand the person that's on the corner of my street that's hanging out, selling loot. Like, he is me and I am him. Like, there's no difference in us. And we're saying, believe in this system and go out and vote and it'll change. And we have to change our tune and say, we're not asking you to believe in this system, brother. We're asking you to believe in you. We're not asking you to believe in this system, sister. We're asking you to believe in you. So at this moment, I think we have to focus on how to be. And I'll quickly, Nicole, I don't know if you heard this, but a lot of people, when we saw the ICE deportations and people being carted off to CCOT, and they were saying, well, that's who they voted for, so I'm minding my business. There was no curiosity about, well, let's break down that data and see actually what that data looks like. One, they're an undocumented immigrant. They cannot vote. But let's remember our humanity. We cannot let them turn us into monsters. We have to give a damn about people. They are not our enemy. We have to, I don't know the numbers that we can win with just us alone. So trying to find safety among each other and then coalition build with the people who did vote with us, who did ally with us. I can co-create something with those people a lot better than I can trying to win this fight alone.
I think black women in this moment are in a deep state of both contemplation and rage because set against the backdrop of the collapse of empire and watching the country fail us over and over again are the tensions that we are feeling with our own men, which for many of us have a more tangible impact on our day-to-day experiences, right? These are our brothers, our fathers, our partners, our bosses, right? And so I think for the first time, this mass of black women is considering what gender means to us, how we've been subjugated even within our own people, right? Feminism among us has been deeply unpopular for a number of reasons until the past 15 or 20 years, right? Now we're having a more nuanced conversation about it and what it means to us. And so I think that what's important is that black women think about saving themselves and not saying I'm saving myself because I don't care about the men or I don't care about the white folks, but me taking care of me and my sisters is going to prop up the world for everyone else, right? When our needs are met, the collective needs are met. So I think it's important that we, don't feel like debating or considering gender is not painting the walls while the house is burning down. The house is burning down, but those walls still need to be painted because you got to live in that house until it burns down.
So I have a minute. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But the engineers and the architects of 2025 project, we know it well, they did their research. And they did their research on who is the central strength, configuration of the black community. And it is us. It is us. okay? It's called the matrifocal lens, okay? And that's what they targeted. They targeted us. We go about doing our business and have since the moment we landed, or actually since the moment, and I'm borrowing from Malcolm X, Plymouth Rock landed on us, okay? So we have been about the business of what? Creating, the business about protecting, the business about getting on and surviving. That's our business. And we do it from an economic standpoint. We do it from a civic engagement and political standpoint. We do it from the sense of, oh, girl, I got you. That's what we need to be focused on. Because every single new business that is cropping up in this country, the highest percentage are who? Us. Small businesses, who? Us. So, ladies, let's just get back to the work of taking care of our business. The business of the bottom line moneymaker, the business of the bottom line taking care of our community. And I didn't even have a minute. Give me a minute. I'm gonna finish this point. Do you want me to finish the point? Because I am like hyper-focused. And that's what we need to do. And I am really very proud to be sitting up here with these ladies. Sis, you did a hell of a job, and I'm so proud of you. Nicole Hannah-Jones, I am so proud of your responsibility and your engagement in this moment that is Essence.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Before we leave, I just want to say, Black women, we have power. We have so much power, and I want us to walk away from this panel, walk away from this weekend of restoration, understanding our power, because they understand our power. There's a reason why they began the attack on democracy with Black women. I want y'all to understand that. When you look at how Black women vote, we don't vote our aspirations. Joe Biden was a nobody's preferred candidate, right? But what we do is we vote to protect. We are the protector of not just our household and our communities, but of this country where we live. This is our native land. So we have to fight alongside as many allies as we can. I want us to understand the layoffs and targeting of Black women specifically is economic destruction, because we know we're often the income earners in our household. We know that we're the ones that vote for community at the highest rates, that we vote for social programs, we vote for public programs. So we have a tremendous strength that they recognize. I just want us to recognize it just as much. So thank y'all for joining me on this panel. Leave here with your power, y'all. Oh, are y'all signing? Okay. Also, there will be, I don't think Michelle's books made it.
Get my book.
Sadly. But Jamila and Tiffany are signing books, so please purchase their books, support Black authors, and they will sign them for you while they're here. Thank you all so much.